Okay, can you please state your name?
Claudia V. Lafourcade.
And were you born in Philadelphia, raised here, or did you come here at a later date?
I came here when I was about 28 years old,
And where were you coming from?
Trinidad.
Okay. And what part of Philadelphia will you be talking about?
Well, where I lived the longest, and that is Southwest Philly.
Okay, and if you had to describe this community of Southwest Philadelphia in one word or one sentence, what would it be?
I would say that um, it's okay. It's comfortable.
Okay. And one of the things that you're noted for in the community is your beautiful flowers and your vegetable garden. Uh, have you always had a green thumb? Is this something that you learned as a child and brought here with you?
Yeah, I learned this as a child. I always had my little garden at home. And because my parents were agriculture, we grew cocoa and coffee, citrus, all that stuff. So we were always, and my mother grew orchids and roses and things like that. So that was sort of instilled in me from small. And I find it very, you know, it's like therapy, you know. I mean, especially during all the stuff that's going on in the world. I get out there in my garden and I feel comfortable. I feel happy. You know, it's just something that I love to do. You know,
How long have you been in this neighborhood?
since I think it was 1988, I came here.
And did you immediately start your garden or
Oh yeah, yeah. I was so glad I had this piece of land so I could do something with it. Apparently, the previous owner planted they planted tomatoes and all that stuff. But when I came, I started doing roses because I really love the roses and so I did my front garden and my back garden. But the soil in the front was much richer, so I get more benefits from doing my garden there. I do flowers and vegetables there.
and this summer you had really large bitter melons. They were unbelievably large. What are some of your tips or tricks that you use to have such a plentiful bounty?
I I use I do a organic gardening, and I use a natural fertilizer come from right from fish. That's what I use on my roses, on my vegetables, and I also use I make my own compost. A lot of my, not all of it, but I do my own compost from my vegetables, which are mostly organic. So I use the the cuttings and the peelings. It helps with a lot of waste, you know. So I put that into the compost bin, and I make my own compost. I still have to buy soil, but not as much as I would. So things like eggshells, banana skins, all those things go right back into the soil, and it nourishes the soil. And no chemicals at all. So you feel like you're eating healthy food when you cook, when you grow your own food.
Would you recommend other city dwellers to invest in a home garden?
Oh, of course. It's so, it's just wonderful. And you don't have to have a whole lot of land. You don't have to have, I like working with the earth. I like to put my hands in there and stuff like that. I like that. But however, you could do container gardening, which I mean almost anything, big, small, whatever, and you could do tomatoes, peppers, and a whole list of things that you could do.
Thank you so much. And my last question for you, is there a Philadelphian person, place, or event that you always remember and it's no longer around?
You mean pertaining to gardening?
Gardening or just in general, your time here in Philadelphia, was there a person, place, or event that no longer exists that you will still remember for?
Well, I would say the who persons I would always remember is Aaliyah Walker, who was a good friend of mine, and I volunteered on a farm up at 51st and Chester called Earth's Keepers, and I sort of managed that farm for a little bit while she was doing treatments and stuff until she passed away about three to 4 years ago, and I still miss her. And well, I had a lot of people, a lot of friends. So I miss her. I miss Earth Keepers because I was there like practically every day, especially when she wasn't around. I missed people I work with, the children from the schools would come. We were like in partnership with Sankofa Farm, which is in Bathroom. So we used to get, we worked together with them, the students from the college students and the high school students. I miss that, the interaction and so on with the young people.